very easy to forget where you are at a party conference, but obviously out there is the city of Liverpool. And as much as people sit here and cheer speeches and vote for motions, that's the kind of place where real politics has to happen. And this city is a real case study in the possible pitfalls that await the Liberal Democrats when all this is over. The obligatory visual prop, rather expensive £1.50. Thank you. Now, there's all sorts of political argy-bargy afoot here. The former Liberal Democrat leader of the council was among the first kind of senior Liberal Democrats to really make a lot of noise about the drawbacks of being in the coalition, and specifically the cancellation of all those school buildings. And round about the same time, a councillor called Ian Jobling crossed the floor. He was a Liberal Democrat, now he's a Labour councillor, and as far as I can tell, he thinks he's going to be the first of many.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you? I'm all right.
I'm going out into the fields. We're going to Wavertree. Wavertree's meant to be one of those case studies, isn't it, in where things may become dicey for the Lib Dems. That councillor's just crossed the floor. Do you know about him?
No, but councillors crossed the floor all over. So
He's created a big stir here, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah, he's called Ian Jobling.
Bloody get your red ties. Sense in this.
I think I'm right in saying are the first Liberal Democrat councillor across the floor and joined the Labour Party. Why did he do it?
I did it because on the 28th of May, I was at the police authority because as a former Liberal Democrat councillor, I was a member of the police authority as a Liberal Democrat. And we had a communication that came through to say we had to make a £4 million in-year budget cut to the police authority budget.
That came from what, central government?
That came from the Home Office.
Right.
So I went home that night and I thought, this isn't right, this doesn't seem right to me. And I reread the Liberal Democrat manifesto that we fought the elections on only 2 weeks earlier. And that clearly stated that no cuts before 2011-12, because to do so would damage the recovery and cost jobs.
I mean, was it hard crossing the floor in that sort of sense?
It's about being honest with yourself and being honest with the people who vote for you. And political parties put forward manifestos. People make the basis of what they're going to vote for and what's in those manifestos. And within weeks of a manifesto being published and voted on, and then the opposite happening, that just didn't square up with me. I've always been left of centre.
Right, okay.
And I came into politics many years ago because I wanted to help the poor, the frail, the elderly. They were good values that stood people in good stead in the old Liberal Party, which I joined in 1976. Those values are still very comfortable in the modern Labour Party.
Aren't they still there in the Liberal Party? I mean, we've been down at conference today. We saw that big sort of rebellious vote about academies and free schools. Everyone talking about the bad effect that would have on people at the low end of society so on.
That's all very well, but the actions are different to what they put in black and white and what they were voted into power on.
Only a matter of months ago they were running the show.
Yeah.
When you look ahead to what might happen to your old muckers, what do you think will?
They're in for a rough few years because, I mean, the proof will be in the pudding with the voters next May and the year after and the year after that. But they all seem very keen that the coalition's going to last till 2015. So locally they're going to be in for a few rough years.
This is the council ward of Picton, which is Ian Jobling's home turf. What do you think of him?
Oh, don't.
I just think he'd have done anything to get into power.
I voted for him.
Did you?
But I don't know what I think of him anymore.
I don't know.
Is there anything he could say to you that would make you feel better?
Not really, no. I don't think so. I don't know what he could say.
What about I'm not going to make all those cuts?
That would be good, but I don't think that's going to happen,
No.
is it?
Likelihood on a scale of 1 to 10?
2.
I think it's a bit dramatic to say he's sold out all the people that voted for him because it's the real world, it's politics, and you have to do what you have to do.
In bed with the Tories, particularly in a city like Liverpool,
Well,
who's got very firm
it's
opinions
not-
about the
of course,
Tories.
Yeah, of course. It's not the thing you can do to make yourself most popular, but at the same time, it's the real world, and something had to happen. But I've been quite impressed with him as a statesman. And
I just remember the last time there were big spending cuts in Liverpool as well.
Yeah, I've been through. I'm 47, so I've been through a few parts. No,
Yeah.
I think the Tories and the Liberals are destroying the country.
Really?
Yep.
You worried about the cuts coming then?
Yep.
What do you think they'll do at Liverpool?
I think it'll be bad here.
To be honest, I'm actually not bothered about what goes on until it happens, like most people, you know.
Right.
But like your t-shirt.
What's your t-shirt say? Like I give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's your general attitude to life.
No, not really. I mean, I do care about the important things.
Right.
It's just things like this, they don't concern me because I've got other important things in my life.
Right. Hold on, all of our money's going to get stopped. Holiday funds, the lot.
But we're in care, so why would you stop all that?
So you've picked up that the spending cut's coming?
Yeah.
How do you think they're going to affect you?
Quite badly.
Because we live in semi-independence. I didn't know we was doing that myself, like he's in semi-independence.
We hardly get any money as it is, and now they're going to be bumping it down. All of our educational allowances again.
Doesn't that make you want to go down the polling station and choose one over the other?
Yeah, but no.
He's left today, hasn't he?
He's gone to the United Nations.
He's got more important things to do.
Yeah. Have you ever voted Liberal Democrat?
No. I'm a local resident in the area. I'm also a volunteer with the local credit union. And one of the things we're really worried about is the impact on benefits, because they're talking about benefit cheats and cutting back on benefits. There's a lot of people who are dependent on benefits for basics.
They say, I mean, their big message is, if it wasn't for us, this would be a properly nasty Tory government. We're the hand on the brake. We deserve a bit of credit for it.
Yeah, but I think if we had a properly nasty Tory government, at least we know what we were fighting. Tories are honest in terms of what they do. They have their philosophies, they have their principles. They support business, they don't support people on benefit, they don't support working people. That's fine. We know where we stand with that. I mean, in a way, it's what we expect. But when you've got people who are saying they're on your side and that we'll make it not quite as bad as it was, leaves me a bit cold.
You've been very outspoken in saying this conceivably is bad news electorally for the Lib Dems.
It is.
How can you ride it out? I mean, you yourself have been very outspoken. That famous email that was leaked, and you said, and I quote, we will be wiped out by Labour in the north and the Tories in the south, and at last the media will have that two-party system they've always craved. You've talked about total electoral decimation being in prospect.
Yeah, and it was on the back of the Building Schools for the Future decision that I believe was fundamentally wrong. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think...
You must be a worried man, then, to use language like that.
Absolutely. And I think any Liberal Democrat that's been involved in politics as long as I have, and fought the Labour juggernauts as long as I have, would be disturbed by some of the things they say.
Defending the government, which you're going to have to do, defending the government that's done it, when you yourself felt sick at the news. Where does that leave you politically?
You've got to remember, you don't defend the government. You hold the government to account. It's completely different. And what you do is you adopt the policies that you agree with, you learn more about the policies you don't agree with, and see if there's any social justice, that golden vein of social justice running through them that made me join the Liberal Democrat 30 odd years ago, or the Liberals 30 odd years ago. And then within the party structure and the Liberal Democrats, you're able to do that. You actually try and change the way people think. You don't walk the floor to Labour. You don't go from a party that, like the Liberal Democrats, is free and easy, like the bag, the old analogy of the cats in the bag.
Cats in the bag. Yeah.
To a centralised, controlled party like we saw Labour, and say, well, I can cross that chasm easily. I couldn't possibly.
So your strategy is to hang in there and fight?
Absolutely. I did say to him, Ian, you don't change by walking the floor. You change within. And that is why people have said to me, you've been quite outspoken about the Liberal Democrats. Are you going to walk? I said, absolutely not. I'm a Liberal Democrat. I haven't changed my views. Some people in the hierarchy of the parliament, in the party, haven't been as liberal in their agreement with in the coalitions they should have done.
Come the Cuts programme, this place, constituencies, wards like yours, Wavertree, Toxteth, Speak, are going to have a really rough time of it.
Absolutely, and that's why you've got to be seen to holding the government to account. That said, it's everyone's preempting what the government are going to do in 5 years. In 5 years' time, or in 2 years' time, the economy may be stable, jobs may be coming back, the people who've lost their jobs in the public sector may be retrained and picking up jobs in the private sector, and people will be thinking completely differently. Now, that's me.
Or you might get a double dip recession.
Well, but that's me with the glass half full, your glass is half empty.